Flat Earth Dave is a pathological liar and a scammer.
People that have the truth with them, they don't need to curse, they don't need to insult, they don't need to mock.
Flat Earth Dave is lying again.
Okay, you don't agree with Dave, you believe he's lying and everything, no problem. Just, try to prove it, because he's not very successful in proving anything.
That's strike 3, Dave. You are a filthy, lying scammer.
It's like some kind of an intellectual masturbation. Like you believe that you're going somewhere, but it's only in your imagination. You don't create nothing. Okay, that's good. Thank you for for having me like this. Just I'm the one that contacted you. To talk to you a little bit, to know actually a little more about you, more than discussing flat earth, But
Yeah.
let me explain my what I wanted to do is that I'm a newcomer, into the flat earth movement. I'm a flat earther. I'm also like like I told you, like an admirer of David Weiss. And when I saw that you're attacking him all the time, and you're making videos, so I was curious, because I've seen a lot of people always like insulting, making fun, but actually you kind of you kind of guy that makes sense somehow. You clean cut, you just make sense. So I was interested into getting in touch with you to see a little bit what drives you to do all this, like to go after him. And I checked your videos, I checked your arguments. I saw there was a couple of things that are interesting in what you're saying. But my point is just to learn about you. I tell you, I've been making an investigation. I've been conducting an investigation on flat Earth for like about a year. And the first thing, that does not prove that the Earth is flat. But the first thing I checked was NASA. If NASA was lying, not lying. So I investigated on that part. Then I went to investigate the media, how the media, yeah.
Can I ask you a quick?
Yeah. Go ahead.
In Hebrew, what does NASA mean?
I cannot really say. NASA in Hebrew is not really a word, but it can come from the word to if I don't mistake. You see, the action of NASA is to elevate in Hebrew, but there is also another word that's what the snake did to the woman, that he induced her into making mistakes. It just like brought her to.
But how is that pronounced?
The word is leasi. The verb is leasi, but NASA will be like. I don't know how to explain it. I have some difficulties in English myself, but I can I can check it out for you in proper English, because I understand the word. I don't just know how to put it in words in English. And actually,
I ask because you probably know a lot of flat earthers.
Yeah, I heard. Yeah,
make claims that I know are wrong about what NASA means in Hebrew.
Okay.
Because I've talked to several
okay.
Native Hebrew speakers, but never directly from face to face like you.
Okay.
About it, that somebody that's a little more on the flat earth side. So
yeah,
the glasses are dirty.
Well, here we have a translation that is not very much correct according to the Hebrew Bible, the Hebrew from the Torah. Here it says that it's more like to carry, like I told you, to elevate, like to carry something.
Or lift.
Yeah, to lift something. But you see the woman in the Eden Garden, uses that word here.
But it's slightly different spelling, right?
Yeah, of course. Hebrew is a very sharp language. That means that with one word you can have different meanings according to how you use it, how you place it into a sentence, into a verse.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can have different angles, different meanings. For example, that word when it's placed in the wife's mouth in the Eden Garden, it says more like the snake scammed me. It just induced me. It brought me into making a mistake that is accusing me now of making. That means that that this is the principle of Satan. In Hebrew, Satan, it comes from the word lishton, which is to bring people to make mistakes, to tempt people in order for them to make a mistake, in order for the Satan to accuse you of that mistake that he brought you to do. This is the spirit behind the word. So,
but it's my understanding that it's a different pronunciation.
yeah, no, NASA is the same pronunciation. Is a sin, and it's like the same pronunciation.
Is it not Nasha with
No,
an SH
if
sound?
it was Sha, it will be the dot will be on the other side. It will be on the right side. Then it will be Nasha. But that dot is on the left side, so it's Nasa. The shin in Hebrew can become sin if you just move the dot.
Yeah.
And this is
Okay.
Nasa with a shin, but more precisely with a sin.
So
So you see,
I was just so I've been told that the deceive definition has the whatever the
yeah,
dot so that it gets the SH pronunciation.
no,
But I've also heard that just alone that word doesn't even have a pronunciation. The three letter root doesn't even get pronounced like
no,
NASA or Nasha. It's totally
no,
different.
no, it's different. But the thing,
Yeah.
like I told you that it means like to lift. So you can say maybe in your English that she was carried on. She was carried on by the snake. She was like carried on to do something. Those maybe that's in that sense. But I don't,
Okay.
I know that on the other side, people, know Hebrew very well. They use Hebrew, for example, the word earth in English comes from eretz. It's the same words, just like, arrange it, but
Yeah.
it's pronounced it differently. So I'm very, very happy to be here because it's the first time in my investigation that I can face an opponent at last, an enemy. And in order to just understand you a little bit, understand what
I'd
what
rather
drives you.
not I'd rather not be an enemy,
Yeah, an opponent, let's say.
right? Yeah.
I'm open. I'm very open-minded. I have no problem. You're free to think whatever you want, and I'm very, very open-minded on many things. So the thing is that in that investigation I'm conducting, the fifth part now is it's about knowing your foe, know your foe, know who are the guys in front of you that are like accusing you of being idiots, of being like of being wrong all the time, and let's see what they have to say. But we checked your videos. I checked things, and I checked many other videos of many other guys. I don't see anything that's convincing. That means that, okay, that's you kind of diminish a little bit the people by making fun and everything. That's okay. That's a good tactic. But somehow I tell you something. One of the things that brought me to join the flat Earth movement is also because I saw the reaction to the flat Earth movement, on the internet and in the mass media, and I saw the obsession, the crusade that was, happening, against the flat Earthers, and I said, okay, let's say, if you believe that we all crazy or we idiots, fine, but there are so many crazy people on the internet, so many other idiots, so many other subjects you can go after. Why flat earth? Why being so obsessed about flat earth? So all these questions, I'd like to have an insight, to have your take on this and to see what drives you to to fight us so hard like this. Tell me.
Well, I prior to 2010, I knew that there was an active group of people that thought the earth was flat, but I knew it was rather small. And before 2010 it was rather small. I didn't pay it much attention because it's super easy to figure out the earth could not be flat because the sun could never set. And now after time, doing more investigation. Since then, the ancient cultures, including Hebrew, in Near Eastern cultures that did think the Earth were flat, they thought that nighttime was experienced by everybody on Earth simultaneously, that the sun somehow, either like Greeks, it went underneath somehow, or if you read the book of Enoch, they say that it goes through a portal and then it takes a chariot inside the portal somehow during night. So everybody gets nighttime at the same time, which is reasonable for people that don't have fast communication and that can't travel any faster than, feet, or an animal, riding an animal of some sort. So you move so slowly that time zones don't matter. So if you go from near Middle East or to Far East, go all the way to the edge of China, by the time you get there, it's shifted so slowly in the time zone you don't notice. So I say, well, obviously people see the sun 24 hours a day, so the sun could never set. And this is basic geometry. And so I'm like, well, that's silly. I can't believe people still think that. Then come forward to 2018 and YouTube videos I had happened upon some people that were talking about it. I thought, I can't believe they're actually talking about it, but turns out they were. And that's what kind of got me interested in it. I jumped onto some online forums and had some conversations on the forums with people, and then watched some videos on YouTube. Eventually, a flat earther had done a challenge, a $100,000 challenge to do flight charts. And the challenge was to have basically a triangle with each of the corners being 90 degrees. And I did that first on online flight planning software. And he said, I meant paper charts, which he of course didn't say. So he moved the goalpost. So if you see on my wall right here behind me, I made them on paper charts. I printed out real flight charts, operational navigational charts, or what they're the particular set that I used, which has all global set of charts. I printed them out and I did a route where that was right around 10,000 kilometers per side. Each corner is 90 degrees, and taped them together and then put them on the floor, and it made a U shape. But then I created a half globe out of PVC pipes, and I put it on there, and it attached just correctly. So it was able to use real flight charts that real pilots really used for decades and connect them together, and it made a sphere, essentially. So that was what got me started in it. And now it's just been a hobby. So why am I interested? It's a long way. Why am I interested in this? Why my reaction to it? It's a hobby I've done. I enjoy it. It's something that over time I've developed enough background in to talk, pretty freely and quickly about it.
But you see, actually, I believe you agree with that the flat Earth movement is getting popularity all over the world. We talking
all
about
around the globe, yeah.
All around the globe. We know it might reach even more than 2 billion people now, and I don't just throw the number 2 billion because that Google it was the flat Earth was the most researched words on Google until they canceled the
No, it wasn't.
Oh, that is what I heard. Okay. Because they canceled it now. I don't
Hold
know
on.
why they
Let me.
Okay.
Sam, right?
Okay. Go ahead. Just correct me if I'm wrong.
I just want to make sure I call you the right name, because
Sam.
Sam's good. Okay. So you said that's what you heard. Here's the problem. You've listened to what you've heard without doing background research on it.
How do you do that research?
Have you heard other flat earthers say, do your own research? It's a common phrase, but you didn't on this topic.
Well, I tell you something. I'd rather concentrate, my research on things that are more, for me, more important than just this. It's just like a detail for me.
A great idea.
But the thing is,
don't parrot. Don't copy what other people have said if you haven't done your own research on it.
If I'm here, it's because I'm doing my own research, because I'm talking to you now to see what you think about this. Did you do that research? How do you research such an intel? How do you know how many people were looking for flat Earth before they just canceled the number of search on Google because they cancel it. It doesn't appear anymore. Remember when I used to type a name,
that's
there was a number. Now it's not.
I know, but you said it's the most researched.
Yes, that's
But
what I heard.
it was never the most researched. It was
Okay.
in the past it had been researched or typed into search bars more commonly than it is today. But I think for the most part, people have been exposed to it.
Well,
so
what comforts,
it's not as commonly looked for.
What seems to confirm, that it was the most research word is that when, for example, I type Google, flat Earth on YouTube or on Google, all I see is like hundreds of videos anti-flight earthers. Like there's no,
I know,
like anti.
and they're not me.
Not
I wish they were me more often.
I know you also appear on that, but when you see that, you say, oh, wait a second, like there is like hundreds of videos against flat Earth, making fun of flat Earth. So something's fishy, something's wrong. Something is normally you should find one or two videos.
Well,
and that's
a reason.
Of course, there might be many reasons.
Do you know the reason?
Well, I suspect the reason. I do not know it, but I suspect it's because this.
Well,
people, running YouTube don't like, they don't like flat Earth people.
Yeah, well, yeah, Google, who owns YouTube, their advertisers are one of the big things, right? Google can't pay the bills if their advertisers don't exist, so they have to do things to please their advertisers. And a lot of the larger advertisers were saying, well, we don't want our videos or our advertisements associated with, and then whatever it is. So pick whoever it is that you really, really dislike, right? Living in Israel, maybe you could think of a few topics that you would not like, right? On YouTube, associated with a business that you might be advertising on YouTube. So you wouldn't want your role in front of insert thing you don't like, right? So you might, if you were a large advertiser, go to Google and say, look, I'm not going to be wanting my ads in front of these things. You need to do something about it. And Google will say, oh, well, if we don't add advertisers, we can't exist. So let's do something. So that's a lot that's driving it.
So you're saying that the advertisers would refuse like a few hundreds of millions of people's market because they don't agree with what they think? That's what you're saying? Because I think the money is more important for them than the ideology.
Well, advertisers have lots of choices for where they can go.
Okay.
To advertise, and so that they don't have to go to Google or YouTube, and especially if YouTube is supporting things that they specifically don't support, right? So like I said, if you were an advertiser and you had a $1 million budget to spend on your advertising, would you go to a platform that will potentially put your advertisement right next to something that you aggressively don't agree with? Or would you go somewhere else where there's this association won't happen?
I'll go wherever I can sell. I don't care if people agree with me or not. I just want to sell. I'm an advertiser.
Okay, well,
I don't care.
Okay, care. You're not obviously the decision maker at an advertising firm, so
no, I'm a businessman,
right?
But I know how to sell. But anyway, that's not the point. The thing is that that you're right. First of all, we don't have time to check and double check everything, and first of all, don't have the means also. Like for example, you told me that it was not the most researched word expression, like flat Earth on Google. But how do you know that? How do you double check that? How do you make your own research?
That would be on you to do if you're going to make the claim.
Let's say it's not agenda, but you say that you did.
But it's not my or anybody else's responsibility to research the things that you're going to say. It's your responsibility.
I know, but how do you then? Then it's the same thing. Then you like me. You don't do the research also. You say it's not. You told me that it was not. So how do you know it was not?
Oh, how do I know?
Yes,
that it was not? Because I've looked at the numbers of the chart. If you look at the chart, there's a graph that shows YouTube's search history for flat Earth peaking around 2016 to 2017. I look at the numbers, and it's the raw numbers are not that high.
Okay, that's good.
Right, so, and certainly other things. And if you look, and then if you overlay that chart, numbers for numbers over, I don't remember exactly what it is, but I think people have overlaid it with things like fart. that fart comes up to like half of the peak of what flat Earth came up to. Well, people aren't researching fart in whatever it was. I don't want to hang it on that it was actually totally fart, but you know what I mean. It wasn't a large raw number. But that graph, if you saw that graph, didn't have other topics on it that were higher. There were other topics that were higher.
Okay, we'll check that out. That's interesting. So the thing is, I'd just like to know a little bit more. You can also ask me questions. I'm open to any questions. I'm with you. I just want to know a little more. But you married? Are you married? Okay. What's your profession? What do you do for a living?
I write anti-spam and antivirus software.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think I saw that at one point.
Yeah.
Sorry, I forgot.
So I spent, I have spent the majority of my professional career identifying scammers. So when I saw flat earthers on YouTube, I'm like, oh, these are the same people.
I see. So what is a scammer? Like, how do you define a scammer? Like someone that is going to just steal from you money, or that's going to just lie to you or deceive you? What is it?
Yeah, a little broader than that. So the original really popular spam from a while ago was, pills that made men's stuff work better, right?
Yeah.
That's the classic spam message. So did that work? Well, yeah, it did work, but it was the method they were using to do it. So that's a broader definition of scammer than
because
you said. Yeah.
And my experience, for example, I've learned a lot from David Weiss. Never cost me a dime, and he delivered, a lot of information that I double checked on my side.
Did you download his app?
Of course, and I paid like 10 shekels, like about $3.
Okay, so you did spend money.
Of course, and
you just said you did not spend any money.
Wait a second. I didn't spend any money to know everything it taught me. It taught me a lot. It's making a lot of interviews, and I've seen like I don't want to say hundreds, but tens and tens of videos, and I never paid one dime for this. Now, when I go to YouTube and I want to find like a good flat Earth channel, and I cannot find because it's like drowned into like a a tsunami of like I call that propaganda videos, like looks like North Korea. It's crazy. And so then at that point the app is worth it, because now I have all the true videos of flat earthers. It's worth much more than $3.
But here's the problem.
It's worth like $300.
Here's the problem.
Yes.
So I think you contradicted yourself there a little bit. But here's the problem with David Weiss. He's teaching you incorrect things.
Okay, how do you know that? Because we checked already, and according to what we checked, it's correct. It makes sense. And
David Weiss specifically claimed that some photos that he said were on NASA's website were from Devon Island. Okay. But these photos were never on NASA's website. He lied.
Is it possible that he saw those pictures and then after that NASA fixed the pictures?
Nope.
Like made them disappear? Nope. That's not
absolutely
a possible
not
scenario.
Because I have the video of the NASA denier from 2012, long before Flat Earth became a big thing on the internet, manufacturing the photo, one of the several photos that he claimed were on NASA's website. A video of the person manufacturing it from start to finish and saying then publishing it. And that exact one that was manufactured by a NASA denier, David Weiss claimed was on NASA's website. It never was. And I have the video of the person manufacturing it as a joke. It was a sarcastic thing. He's a NASA denier anyway, but it was a sarcastic thing. So it never could have been on there. Further, I did the actual investigation myself. It was whatever particular craft was on Mars. And I got all of the original source video, or not video, photos. And so there was a composite that was made. And the little clip that David Weiss claimed, well, there's the picture of the rover, or a clip of the rover that's in the picture. Well, that was put in by the hoaxer in 2012 on that video I talked about. But that was part of a composite photo. So I went and got the original composite photo. It looks nothing like the one that David claimed was on NASA's website.
You see that's the point. You see, check it out. When you come from the outside and you start looking into things and looking into flat Earth, looking into people like you that just denounce things like this. What we realize is this: is that when you jump to conclusion into saying that someone is a scammer or liar, you need a motive for that, something that is valid. That means that what I can tell you is that Dave doesn't need to lie about a picture on NASA.
Then why did he lie about it?
Let me get to that. He doesn't need to lie about something that is been proving so many times before, and that has been proved so many times before, that NASA is faking everything. So it's not a picture.
It was not. But hold on, Sam, listen.
Yeah.
It was not. All of the examples that you were thinking of were proven so many times before were the same things. Every single time it was a NASA denier that created a fake photo, and you're like, oh, there's all these fake photos. All of the fake photos that you think were from NASA were not from NASA. They were from NASA fakers, people claiming NASA is faking, every one of them. So you were fooled by those, and David specifically lied that it was on their website. And now you're going away from that. You are giving him a pass for lying. I think that you are a Torah observant person, right?
Of course.
And what does the Torah say about lying?
Lying? You can lie. It depends. For many times, there's many things you can lie about.
Can you lie to convince people that the earth is flat? Is that okay?
I tell you when you can lie in the Torah, when you have in front of you a liar himself. That means that it is said that, when you have somebody that wants to scam you or wants to cheat, and fool you, you have the right to be even more liar than him. You have the right to fool him even more. Only with him. It's not like a way of life.
Torah, or is that Torah or somewhere else?
I'll give you the example.
Okay.
Lavan. You heard about Lavan in the Torah? Lavan. I tell you. Yaakov at one point went to Haran, and he went to his uncle
Jacob.
Yaakov. Yeah, sorry.
I need to get the pronunciation.
It's Jacob. Yeah, we pronounce it the right way. So it's Jacob went to Lavan, his uncle, in order to work for him and marry his daughters and and bring up his family. Now we know, that Lavan is like the worst piece of filth ever. Is a cheater, is a liar, is a scammer, is whatever you want. And he tried to scam Jacob many times, which Jacob says, you tried to change my salary 10 times and everything. But at the end, Jacob managed to scam him and managed to take away from him everything that the best he had. And this is allowed because it's just like war, it's just like a reaction. Someone tries to, kill you, you have the right to kill him. In the Torah, it's not written, you should not kill. It's never been written. You should not murder. Big difference. You understand? So there are situations where you can use your enemy's tactics.
Is it acceptable to you that David Weiss lied about that photo?
I don't. First of all, I don't agree and accept lightly that he lied. I tell you something. Sometimes, let's say that you're right, and a guy, what you call a NASA denier, made that picture and somehow fooled David, and David believed that it was on the. I don't know. Well, it might be just a mistake, not jumping to the conclusion that he lied and he's a scammer, because he has no reasons to do so. He has no reason to lie, no reason to scam. He doesn't profit out of this, because what is proven,
he sells his app.
But
he does it to sell his app.
He doesn't sell his app.
What he's doing
through this. He doesn't sell his app through this.
Yes, he does.
He doesn't need this.
When he goes on other people's podcasts and shows and stuff, his whole deal is that's why he's going there, is to sell his app.
So this is the point. You might find sometimes Dave, and I have an example here on one of your videos, that can make mistakes, or and that's fine. But to jump to the conclusion that he's a liar and a scammer, and because of this, he's going to make money out of you, that's like, it's too much. And when I look at it from the outside, I see on one side David Weiss that has like 100 proofs that NASA fakes, images, and now you find like one case where that's controversial, but that's not enough.
I can address every
and
one
you
of
jump
his.
on that, and you say, okay, I found the Holy Grail, but it's not enough.
I can go after every single one of his claims.
But you see that it doesn't work. That's the point. That the thing is that what brings. I speak straight with you. I believe what breaks your credibility is the fact that first of all you just look for little things like this, and okay, look at what he said at that point. That's not
Sam,
true.
It's not little. It's huge. It's big. It's the cornerstone of his claim about NASA.
The cornerstone of his
I
claim
go
about
right
NASA.
to because I found bunches of times where he made that claim about that photo, that one photo about the rover
but there's a lot
from
of
Mars. Right? I found over and over and over he says that in several videos, and I put together a montage of him saying it. It wasn't every time, it was just a small collection. So he says it super often. And so it wasn't a small fringe thing. It was the main thing that he went on about NASA.
Check it out. When they say Elon Musk tell you that they have like pictures of Mars with, you believe this? You believe
Elon? I don't know how Elon.
Do you believe that NASA has pictures of Mars?
Oh, absolutely. They 100% provably do.
That's the point. That's the point. That's the thing is that
do you know how it can be proven?
No, tell me.
Sunspots. Have you seen a sun through a solar filter where you can see the sunspots on it?
Not directly, no, just on pictures.
Okay. I have, well, yeah, on pictures, right? I have a Nikon P1000. I have a solar filter. I've taken photographs of the sun with sunspots. Now, the sunspots move across the sun. It takes a couple days for a sunspot to move across the sun, and sunspots last often longer than they are visible because it goes around to the backside. Well, Mars is for a while was about 90 degrees from the Earth in its orbit, and one of the rovers takes a photograph of the sun every single day, and in that photograph you can see sunspots. But because of the position of Mars in relation to the Earth, the sunspots as they're first appearing from Mars, we can't see here. Then a couple days later, they appear here. So looking at the photos taken from Mars, sent from NASA, you can look at them ahead of time, say, there's a sunspot that's going to appear, and then look, here comes the sunspot later in time. So you can make that prediction. How could NASA know that a sunspot was going to appear
Maybe they don't know. Maybe they're just
ahead
lying.
of time?
Maybe they're just lying. They just don't know nothing.
How could they have constructed that lie to show a photograph of Mars, from Mars, of the sun, of a sunspot days before it appeared on the Earth, and then it appears on the Earth? How did that happen?
With the budget they have, they can make you believe. They can show you like pink elephants on Mars.
How did they predict the future?
They don't
change the topic. They did, because they show a photograph of the sun with the sunspot on it that we can't currently see on the Earth. And then 2-3 days later, here it is. It shows up on the Earth. So how does that happen?
Your reasoning.
How does unlimited budget make that happen? So
I tell you. So your reasoning is that first of all, what NASA says is true, and then you say, how can they know?
No. I'm not assuming that they're
if
true.
David Weiss can lie, so NASA cannot lie.
I am proving that they could not have made this up, because you're not able to even answer the question. How could they have known there was a sunspot coming in order to fake it? Unlimited budget. How could they have shown a photograph of Mars, of the sun from Mars, of a sunspot, and then 2-3 days later it shows up in real life somewhere else?
That don't impress.
How did that happen?
That doesn't impress me. As soon as I know that in front of you have a scammer, you have somebody that lies about everything, and they have like money without limits. So how
you didn't answer the question, Sam?
I cannot
You
answer.
didn't answer
This is not a question. You're saying,
and that's
how
the
did they
problem,
know?
Sam.
Because it's not. It's a question. I tell you the thing is that what you're asking is not like a question. You're trying to ask a question that confirms some already a point that I don't agree with. I don't believe that NASA knows things in advance. I don't believe that what they publish is true.
But it's
We
provable
checked it.
that they did. It's provable that they did.
It's I don't believe it is. This is the point. I give you just an example. Forget about all that complex demonstrations. Just check
That's
it
not
out.
complex. That's photographs.
I'm a very simple guy. One of the things that brought me to understand that NASA was lying is very simple. About the moon landing. When you see that the moon lander, okay, is on a flat surface, there's no crater. There is not even one single, single particle of dust on the pads of that, moon lander. You're gonna be totally, crazy or stupid to believe that that thing landed on the moon. It's like it's clearly
Sam,
staged. Like, what do you want?
Why would you
What do
expect
you want more
that?
than that? More than
Sam,
something?
listen,
Yes.
There's dust, and underneath the dust is hard rock. So there should not be a crater because hard rock doesn't.
Not
crater.
on the picture. It's not hard rock. It's sand. You can
no,
see
it is hard. It is right underneath the
So there's no dust.
It's hard rock. There's dust on top of hard rock, and there is sand. And you can see in the landing photograph, you can see the sand getting shot out as they come close. There's a metal bar sticking down from the bottom of the foot. And when that makes contact with the surface, it turns off the rocket. So when they were several feet or a couple meters above the surface, the rocket turned off. So the rocket was never firing when it was really close to the ground, but it did clear out the dust. So right underneath the lander, there is no dust. It's just the hard rock. But you get away from there, and then there's sand.
But
so it completely matches prediction. So you're saying, why is there no sand on the feet? Because there should be no sand on the feet.
Okay, no problem. So you agree with me that in this case, okay, just like in the case if it was a scam and it was staged, we will have the same result. Like if it was staged,
that doesn't help you.
Let's say if it was staged, okay, it will be like this. It will be like just standing on without no dust, no nothing. But you're saying that if if it's landing, it will be the same results. So now you're telling me that the results of a moon lander landing and the result I can have by filming something that is staged, that is fake, is the same thing. So it's suspicious. That's one thing. There's like 1,000 things.
It's not suspicious when reality matches prediction. But you said this was a problem, and you talked about why isn't there sand on the feet. So you were trying to point out a discrepancy, but turns out there is not a discrepancy.
According
and
to
you think that the lack of a discrepancy is suspicious. That's not suspicious at all.
No. So for every single picture that we see that NASA is faking, in the space station, in all that. So you have an explanation every time, like, they're not faking. That's what you're trying to tell me.
I've never seen one that is nothing other than just somebody who doesn't understand. Okay. That they don't understand the topic is usually what it is.
So in that case, again, what tells me that maybe you might be wrong is that in front of you, you have people, that maybe you can, believe they're stupid. That's you're right. No problem. But, I've seen most of the flat earthers. Those are people that think, people that go research. You have pilots. You have engineers.
Name one. Hold on. There's only one pilot. There's only one pilot.
You have in front of you millions of people that think.
Sam, I'm not gonna. No, don't throw out these things. Sam, name one pilot. What's his name?
I don't know the names of the pilots.
I know.
I see the videos.
Exactly. There are no pilots that
because I don't know the name, so it's not true. Because I don't know the name of the pilots. I know pilot that's
yep. I ask the same thing of every flat earther that says there's pilots. Name the pilots, and no flat earther can name the pilots.
The pilots are filmed on video talking.
I know, and we know why they're doing that. They're mocking.
So there are pilots, even if you don't know their names.
No, they're mocking.
Oh, they are mocking. Okay,
they're mocking flat earthers.
Okay,
go ahead. Go look up those videos. Get the names off of their badges if you can get it, and let's contact them. Every single pilot that flies. That there's rules. I don't know if They're in other countries, but in the United States, FAA has an airman database. We can look them up, right? We can find their name. We can contact them and say, hey, you said in this video that the earth is flat, or that whatever it said. Let's have a conversation. But I never get the name of the pilot.
Don't you think they could get fired if they just
they were on video and they knew they were on video?
So there's no problem.
Yet they said it. So don't you think they could get fired? Doesn't work because they already were on video.
So if there is a name of a guy, a pilot, that comes up and tells you this, is going to change your opinion about, that the earth is flat?
No, there won't be any. I've spoken with the one flat earth pilot that exists, and he's not a multi-engine certified pilot. He doesn't even know that these maps right here are Lambert conformal conic projections. He doesn't know what that even means. He has no idea how to do long-range navigation, which is the whole point of pilots know. That's why flat earthers always want to go to pilots, because long-range navigation requires you to know the shape of the earth. But every pilot that does long-range navigation, that previously used these, but now they use online charts mostly. They don't say that the earth is flat. And so all of these pilots say this every single time. They say, give me the name, let's talk to them.
Okay, so to resume a little bit, that's interesting, because to resume that, so again, we have like the flat earthers with hundreds, I can't even say thousands of what they call, evidence, of course, of, pilots, witnessing that the earth is flat, pictures, tests, all kinds of, research that they've done, that apparently makes sense.
There's very little actual research.
And convinced like so much and so many people. And on the other side, you got people like you that, believe that all this is fake. This is just bullshit.
No, I don't think it's fake. I think that the people doing this research don't understand how to do research well. I don't think it's fake.
Would they have?
I don't say it's fake.
Would they have like a motivation to do so? Would they have like a goal? Do they belong?
Yeah, it's a religion.
Oh,
flat Earth is a religion.
It's a religion. I got it now.
But people do think. You know this. You live in Israel, right?
Yes.
You know people do things for religion.
Yeah, but not that kind of thing, and not
right now. Right now in Israel, people do things for religion.
Yes, but the religion doesn't bring so many people from so many different, places, and so many different people to agree together,
of
to
course
make like a new religion.
Of course they do. I was just on Twitter yesterday looking at the responses to people to the recent the leader of Hamas that died, and people from all over the globe on Twitter, both ways, some saying good, some saying bad, and they were from everywhere. New Zealand, Australia, United States, Europe, Asia, all over the place. And of course, the ones that are upset that he died often are motivated by a religious position, not always.
What kind of a religion? Like what is, how could you define that religion? It's like a new movement, like a new, collective hysteria, something like this?
Muslims.
Yeah,
they were the ones that were upset that the leader of Hamas was killed.
Oh, no, I'm talking about like the flat earthers in general, saying that it's like a religion. Like,
flat Earth is a religion. It's a different religion. It's a belief in a supernatural thing, something that's not physically possible.
Did you grow up into a Christian denomination? So some And now, what is your position about the religion or the Bible or God? Or are you a believer or just like this? Or but you don't have any religion. You don't have any. You don't belong to any.
I don't have a religion about physical things.
About physical things.
Right. Yeah. So if I want to know the shape of something, I'll just go measure the shape and determine the shape, right? I don't need to look to religion to tell me the shape of something that's physical, right? What happens in the non-physical realm? Okay, that's religion. Yeah, definitely. What happens in the afterlife? What about spiritual things? That's religion. That I'm fine with. But having a religion about a physical thing is ridiculous. We can just go examine it and see what shape it is.
So I'm gonna give you a little insight, because myself, I never was religious. Grew up, as a regular kid in France. I was even grew up into the Adventist Seventh Day Adventist movement, and I had the greatest time of my life. It was great. We were going, in summer camps and everything. It was a good time, and I never had any problems with these people. And the thing is that, you see, the Jewish religion, which is not actually a religion, it's more like a way of life. But I tell you, because I studied that very much, at one point when the Jews left their land and they had to go in exile, the points now, the main objective, the priority was not to assimilate to the non-Jews, to keep the people the way they are, not to mix up with the others, and to keep our books unaltered, to keep our books the way they were written. And for that, you needed a religion in order to make them, to make sure that they won't, mix up. So I tell you something, in the religion, there's a lot of things that don't make sense, that look stupid. We like wash our hands like 3 times like this. We don't know why, but we do it because somehow we know that, there will come a time when we'll understand these things and we'll won't have to do them anymore. But at one point, all this kept us from assimilating. That means, we were maybe stupid, but we remain stupid Jews and not, because if we were assimilated by the nation, so we would have already disappeared, and until we've been at the end of it. Just like most of the nations mixed up together. So the
without
religion
knowing,
to
I think
make us survive.
Yeah, it's a good point. It's a good point.
But
the hand washing may not have been known, but it became apparent when Joseph Lister washed his hands, and he had better success as a doctor and had less mortality with his patients. Oh, look at that. There's a reason to wash your hands, to get rid of bacteria and germs and things like that. Amazing. And for centuries, they were doing it because of religion, but there's a reason for it. Great. I love that.
You see, this is why it was given to us to do all this stuff, because
that's
it has nothing
super.
to do. It has nothing to do with clean our hands. You see, for example, we wash our hands with tap water. We don't wash it with soap, nothing. And we do it 3 times and 3 times. So why not 4 and 1 or 2 times? So the reason is more, a spiritual reason. There's it has nothing to do with like physical, germs. It has nothing to do with it. Just like, for example, to eat kosher. I ate not kosher food for 35 years. Nothing happened to me.
If you're Seventh Day Adventist,
yes.
I don't know, maybe in France it's different, but here they don't eat pork.
Yes, I know this is true, but I was eating.
They're mostly. I don't know if
at that time
kosher.
I was. Yeah, it's true. They recommend to people not to eat pork, but I was eating anyways anything. I didn't care at the time. I was a kid, and I tell you something. There are other reasons than health. To eat kosher for us, it's not a question of health. It's much deeper than that. So because for example, for non-Jews, the Torah, God tells, you guys, you can go ahead, you can eat pork, you can eat snakes, you can eat anything you want. There's no, it's not forbidden. So why?
Yeah.
So
well, there's not
about health.
There's a list of things for Gentiles to do.
Yes.
That's expected, right? It's not even
7 laws. Right? You have 7
yeah,
laws.
7. Yeah.
7 laws. Like
so do you know Nuriel? He's on YouTube. His channel is Round Thinker.
No.
He's in Israel there. I talk to him often, and so he's told me a bit about the rules, the 7 laws for Gentiles. So
yeah, and even those laws were hardly kept by the Gentiles, so it's not easy. When we have about 613 laws, and we cannot keep all of them, and we screwed up many times, and every time we did so, it was written in our books not to forget that what we did wrong, in order to learn from our mistakes. But whoever is going to tell you, oh, the Jews, they didn't do that and they're not capable, just they have to look at themselves, because even for 7 laws, they couldn't keep 7 laws.
I just say all that is wrapped up very nicely in Hebrews chapter 9. Oh, as an aside.
Oh, okay.
Check it out on some other time.
No problem. So let's go back to the methods you have and to see things. So you see, I'm coming from the outside and being objective. Again, I see a growing movement. I see people like Eric Dubay, David Weiss. I see people like Mark Sargent. That expose things in a way that it's so clear and so easily, checkable. And they also tell you,
Sam,
just double check.
Sam, you've been fooled. You didn't check those
Okay,
things well
okay,
yourself.
maybe no problem.
Don't
No,
be fooled by them.
no problem. But when you approach,
You're too nice to be fooled by them.
I tell you something. When you approach, subjects, you have to, approach it. You have to take a general look at everything. So on one side, I see the nature of these people because I've lived already a little bit. I know people a little bit, not too much, but I know a little bit. So I see people, good guys, explaining you things that you can check out and that actually make sense. And then most importantly, that match what's written in the Torah, because in the Torah, there's no such thing as a globe. It doesn't exist in the Torah. It's never been written. It doesn't appear. So it checks out with our holy books that you don't have to believe in. There's no problem with this. I respect this. And on the other side, you have a bunch of guys that are somehow yelling out of the, in the dark, insulting, yelling, making fun.
You mean Nathan Oakley?
No, I mean all the, for example, when you go on Facebook and you see like a page or a group that says Flat Earth, Society of Flat Earth Friends or Flat Earth this. So you go in and you want to share a video, and then you have like a, 100 trolls that come in and say, haha, make fun of you. So it's not like, Flat Earth friendly people. So those are, stage pages that are fake groups. And there's so many of them that it cannot be done by, individuals. It has to be done by an organization.
It can be done.
We can
It can be done by individuals. It absolutely can be done by individuals that just like having a laugh.
Not so many.
Absolutely.
Not like hundreds and thousands.
There aren't hundreds and thousands.
There are.
There might be dozens of Facebook groups that are dedicated to mocking.
It's very hard even to find like one true Facebook page now.
I am in dozens of true Flat Earth Run Facebook pages or groups, dozens of them.
Yes, so if there is
dozens I don't generally comment in there because I get kicked out pretty quickly.
Oh, it depends how you comment. You can, usually people Flat Earthers are like open, they're open-minded.
Oh no. It depends on the people. Of course, there are some that are open to actual open interchange, not intercourse. But there are lots of flat earthers that will say anybody that's is a dissenter is immediately kicked out. And I've been booted from bunches of groups just for posting measurements. I go, oh no, somebody will say they'll make a claim about the earthy globe and curve being measured, right? They'll say it hasn't been done. I'll say, oh well, here is a link to 15 measurements of the curve, and then I'm out.
I understand. Have you ever done like David Weiss, like public conferences in front of a crowd, explaining things, like with a board and with videos? Have you ever done this? Yes.
Yeah, I've done it once. Yeah.
Why once? You're so obsessed
with because the demand for that is not really large because people know the Earth is a globe.
You're kidding me? There's a big flat Earth movement all over the world. Now, if you have proofs that the Earth is a globe, not only you can make like 200 grand because David Weiss is going to pay you like 3 Bitcoins. And second of all, it will interest...
Stop. David Weiss is a scammer. That's a scam. He does not have a Bitcoin challenge. There's 4 reasons. Number 1, the money's not in escrow. Don't know if he has it. Number 2, and he has control over it. So in the end, he could always just say, not going to pay. Number 2, there is no one spot that is the clearly defined official rules, the authoritative rules. He just says, give me one proof. Number 3, there is no clear, objectively measurable acceptance criteria. What will he accept as his proof? Unknown. And he can change to whatever. He just say, nope, I don't accept that. And number 4, there is no independent third party that will do the arbitration if there's a disagreement. It's a complete challenge. Many people have submitted to him proofs, and he just says, nah. So what is the actual here? Answer this question, Sam.
Why does he say no?
We don't know. He doesn't say. Okay. But here's my question to you, Sam. What will he accept as globe proof? Do you know? Would he accept a photo? Would he accept? No, proof's a proof. No, it's not. Would he accept a photo? No, he won't. Will he accept measurements of the curve? He doesn't say. Would he accept
passed that
a
already.
flight? Would he accept a flight chart? Don't know. He has never said what he would accept. So when you say a proof's a proof, there's no such thing as a definition of what is a proof. He doesn't have any clear, objectively measurable criteria for what he will accept.
Well, in that case, it's very easy to
And
deny
you
everything.
can't state it. Exactly. That's his scam. His everything about his
Excuse me, but
app
that's yours too,
is around that scam of him saying that he has this fake challenge. And of course, the people don't know that. He's like, if you don't believe me, download the app and watch the videos. Download the app, money, money, money. That's what Dave is doing. He goes onto these shows. He does this presentation. People are like, Dave Weiss, you just lied a whole bunch. And then he's like, I'll do this Bitcoin challenge. All you need to do is spend money and then watch the video. But he doesn't even state how you can communicate to him the solution that he pretends that he wants to have. How do you communicate to him the globe proof if you have it?
But you have to ask him, not me.
Exactly. He does not state it in his challenge.
Oh, okay.
If there's no way to submit your challenge that's stated, how could somebody even know how to submit their challenge? Do you email it to him? Well, he doesn't respond to emails.
You're talking about money. Okay, the guy is taking, three bucks for like, an app that cost him maybe a lot of money. But anyways, he just gives.
He makes money on it.
Yeah. Just also, what about you? Are you sponsored for what you're doing? Because what you do is like takes a lot of time. It's a lot of effort.
I wish.
That's why I
it's my
respect
hobby.
Yeah, well, it takes money, it takes time, it takes, and I'd say like, maybe someone is sponsoring you to, so you're doing this out of your own
people
money.
listening, if anybody wants to sponsor me, let me know. And I will state that I've been sponsored if I'm sponsored, but please,
okay,
I'd love to. I'd love it.
Okay.
Maybe some wealthy Israeli wants to back me. That'd be great. Let them know. Let them know, Sam. I'm up for it.
Flat Earth is growing in Israel too, very much. People in Israel are not like, they like to think. It's very hard to fool an Israeli. But so
let me ask you this.
Yes,
how could the sun set? How could the sun set?
The sun doesn't set. In the Torah, for example. Of course
it does. So 8 billion people see the sunset every day.
Well, you can see a train also disappear into the horizon. It doesn't set. It doesn't go down. It's
not. It's a different thing. The sun is not literally sitting on the surface.
You can see thousands of people see the rays going and joining that never join. So don't trust your eyes.
Exactly.
It's so I tell you in the Torah.
Don't trust your eyes. Flat earthers usually say trust your senses.
No.
Okay, so how high is the sun? How high is the sun then?
So I tell you, according to what I believe I understood. First of all, in the Torah, you see, there's never the movement of the sun going up or down. It is never said the sun is rising or the sun is setting.
It's in the English translation, it says setting and rising.
Of course it is, but not in Hebrew. In Hebrew, the translation is the sun shines and the sun comes. When it says that, it sets,
okay.
it means it goes. That means
it doesn't apply. Okay.
It's always above the earth. And when it's very easy when you...
How high above the earth?
I don't know. I know it's in the atmosphere.
No, hold it. This is very important.
Local.
It's very important. Well, if it's local, that's easy to measure.
Give me half the NASA's budget, and I'll tell you everything.
You don't need half the NASA's budget.
About the dome, about everything.
Sam, stop.
Yes.
People figured out the shape of the Earth before NASA, and it was hobbyists.
Yep.
So ignore everything NASA has ever said about the shape of the Earth. The evidence is still there. The distance to the sun has been measured without NASA before NASA existed.
Yeah, and how long?
So by hobbyists, and so I'll ask flat earthers again, and they never answer how high is the sun. You don't need a budget to do it. If it's local, you could just triangulate it.
Since when that idea of the Earth being a globe has been enforced into the
2,500 years?
Big mistake. This now you have a big mistake. You checkmate. It's been about 600 years.
Nicholas, the Earth is a globe.
Exactly. Nicholas of Cusa is the first one, is a bishop, is a Catholic bishop, is the one that started saying this.
No, it's
not.
Who did you hear this from? Who did you hear this from?
In Wikipedia. Go ahead. Wikipedia. It's good. Good enough for
Okay,
you?
go ahead. Keep saying it. I'll pull it up.
Okay. Nicholas of Cusa. Just check it out. In 1440 is the one that started stating that the Earth is a globe.
So we
before that,
pronounce it Copernicus, right?
No, not Copernicus. Before Copernicus, Nicholas of Cusa, C-U-S-A.
All right, hold on.
Yeah, it's a bishop. It's a Catholic bishop. The Catholic Church is behind all the beliefs that you have about science. Is behind modern science
So
itself.
you're claiming that he's the one that introduced the idea that the Earth was a globe.
I'm an investigator. I see what's
contradiction of this entire book here, which I've read. Jeffrey Burton Russell, Inventing the Flat Earth, goes over the history of the written talking about the shape of the Earth. Goes back much longer than
all the civilizations of the Earth. All the civilizations knew clearly that the Earth was flat.
And they all said that the sun goes under the Earth.
Since 100 years old, I'm talking about just about the shape of the Earth being not a globe. Even the Torah, that's it's been written like 4,000 years ago, just clearly says it. It's very easy to prove it many times.
I'm looking at the
it's the Catholic Church 600 years ago that started with this, and they started inventing science as soon as they knew that they were going to have to discover America. So we check that out also. We know that the Catholic Church has a heavy responsibility into making people believe that the Earth is a globe, and also heavy interests.
Okay, so hold on. I'm checking you said check the Wikipedia page for Nicholas of Cusa.
Yes.
I'm not finding what you said is there. I find one thing talking about he said the Earth is a star like other stars. Not introducing the idea of a globe.
Okay.
He says it's not the center of the universe, which goes with Copernicus.
Yes.
That it is not at rest, goes with Copernicus, nor are its poles fixed. He says the celestial bodies are not strictly spherical, which is correct.
Not really.
Nor are their orbits circular, which is correct. That goes to Kepler. The difference between theory and appearance is explained by relative motion. Very good. And then had Copernicus been aware of these assertions, he probably would have been encouraged by them to publish his own monumental work. So Copernicus, who got in trouble with the Catholic Church for saying that the Earth was not the center.
Now you're the naive one.
But, now what?
Now you're the naive one, because if you believe, that Nicholas of Copernicus was, at troubles with the church, or like the other guy that how do you call him? The guy that had like a big trial with the church. All this
Giordano?
is like
Bruno?
No, the how do you call him? I forgot that guy. How do you call him? I forgot all those people. The Catholic Church is an expert in staging things for years until today. But if you believe that something that serves them, at one point they didn't agree with it. This is all. It's all.
You need backing evidence. Conspiracy theories don't get anywhere. Anyway, so Nicholas of Cusa,
yes,
doesn't appear to have been the one that introduced the idea that the Earth is a globe, at least on the Wikipedia page where you said that I should go. Mm-hmm. There's only one instance of the word Earth on the Wikipedia page.
So it's going around. So I'm going to check it out again. But
he appears to be prior to Copernicus at suggesting that the Earth is not the center of the solar system, that it's not geocentric.
So is a father of the heliocentric system.
No, that would go back farther. I think Aristarchus is the one that would get credit for being one of the early introducers of that.
But it was loved that the entire world, maybe if it's true, if it's not another scam, if it's true that there was a guy like 2,000 years ago that said that, it wasn't popular, because the entire,
geocentrism remained popular, even though Aristarchus or whoever it was made that. But yep, so anyway, so I don't know why you're saying that. Much prior to that, Aristotle talked about the Earth being a globe. And like I said, this is a great book. If you haven't read this, it's not a big book. chapter 2 or
So you
3
see,
goes. Hold on, just say. I'll just say
yeah,
just
go
so
ahead,
you
go
can
ahead.
get this yourself. Chapter 2 or 3 goes through the whole history of the writings of people saying that the Earth is a globe, and it definitely goes prior to what was
Yeah.
1400.
So you see, this is what's constant with you guys is that you say that one
That
guy,
we have evidence.
one guy like 2,000 years ago, 2,500 years ago, one guy said that the Earth is a globe,
Lots of guys.
and then no, you just say one guy, and then you wipe out like the thousands of guys that never accepted it for like thousands of years. And it's exactly what you do with David Weiss.
But
You take like
your claim is
one thing out of like a
I
thousand
was
things he
going
does, and you
directly to
said,
your claim,
look,
Sam.
that's
I
what's
was
credible.
addressing your exact claim that
Yeah.
that the globe was first introduced at a certain time. And I'm saying, no, it wasn't first introduced at that time. It was introduced much prior to that. Whether or not people agreed with it wasn't the topic. The topic was, it's so common with flat earthers that you can't just stick to the topic and answer the topic. The topic was whether or not some particular person introduced the topic of the globe, or the idea that the Earth was a globe, at a particular year. It was much prior to Nicholas of Cusa, and this goes over the history of that.
Yes, but the entire planet, the entire Earth and planet, you get it's a planet. Okay, it's a plane. The planet, did not buy this for thousands of years.
But that's not the topic. That's off
wait,
topic.
so wait a second. So what is the argument of the other guys not to accept that truth?
I don't know what was
you
their,
don't know.
what was their writings on it.
You don't care about knowing because you have somebody.
Do you have their writings on it?
So check it out. It's the same. It's the same thing. You're gonna take like a little detail, and you go just like blow it up, and say, look, it's fake. And next to this, we have like so many other evidence that the Earth
you
is
don't
not
have any evidence. You have zero evidence.
So this is this is ping pong. Just say okay.
But you don't have any evidence, Sam.
But
what evidence do you think you have that the Earth is flat? What measurements of flatness do you have?
I'll tell you something very. I don't need like 1,000 proofs. I just
you have zero.
Check it out. I also have like a P1000. I bought it in Elat not too long ago, because they told me that was the last one that you could buy. And when you see like again an entire boat above the surface at my level, for me at like 5.6 miles, that's enough for me. That's enough that there's no curvature. I don't need another proof. I don't need more proofs.
You don't even understand what the globe claim is.
What you're doing is like denial. You just like reject everything. You don't understand. You don't know.
You don't know.
But it's like empty.
Don't know
everything you say is
Let
empty.
me show you. Here's a boat. Here's the sail on a boat, right?
Mm-hmm.
Here's a sail, right? And so as it goes away, farther and farther, I don't have a table to put it on here, right? As it goes away, it gets smaller and smaller. And if it gets far enough away, but not yet behind the curve, and it's too small to see with your eye or by zooming out on a camera, that's not over the curve. Too small to see, it's not over the curve. Here's what over the curve looks like. This is what over the curve looks like, only part of it. Okay, so have you ever seen a boat where the top half is shown, the bottom half is obstructed?
What is the map?
And then just a second, let me finish the question. Yeah. And then zoom brought it back.
Yes.
That's never happened. There's no video of that ever happening.
Okay. So all the hundreds of videos like on internet
are all
zero.
Fake. There are zero videos of that happening. Here's every video that you're thinking of is it got too far away to see. But it did not get partially obstructed. This is what I'm talking about. This is the globe claim. Top is seen, bottom obstructed.
No, the bottom is seen. Right. That's the flat earth. The whole point is to tell you that the bottom is seen. You don't see the boat. Zoom, you see the boat. So what?
No, but that's not the globe claim. The globe claim is that there's a curve.
Every how many miles? Curve. Like every 2 miles, something you have to go down.
1 degree every 69 miles is the curve. So
1 degree every 69 miles. Okay.
That's the formula.
Okay.
So, so the globe claim is that the bottom of the boat is obstructed by the horizon. So if you're not looking at a photo where part of the boat is visible and part is not, then you're not looking at what our claim is. You're looking at too small to see. And too small to see is not what we're talking about. We're talking about actual bottom of the boat blocked, top of the boat not blocked.
That's what
and
what you see clearly on all the videos of the flat earthers.
None. I've never seen any. I've been in debates
Okay.
over and over and over.
So it's
and they make the same claim you do. And every time I say bring it up, they never can bring it up. Every time I say send it to me later, and you know what I never get later? I never get later a video where the top half is shown, bottom half is obstructed, and then Zoom brings it back. That
so according to what you're saying, they're all lying. Like people in Brazil,
yes,
in
they
Japan, in
are,
France, that don't know each other.
They are
it's a collective hysteria.
Yes, it's a collectivist lie. Absolutely, because nobody can ever do it. Here's my challenge to you, Sam. Find me a video. You're thinking of a video right now where bottom part of a boat is obstructed, top is not, half of it. Show me half, right? And then Zoom brings it up where you see the bottom of the boat.
I see
later,
even,
not right now. Later.
No, I have on my video even better. You don't even see the boat. You look at the
horizon. That's not better. That's
you
not
don't see
our claim.
You don't see the boat, and you zoom
topic.
and you see the boat.
That's not. That's just something too small to see. Can you see the individual cells on my hand?
That's crazy.
You cannot. That's the same thing.
You know, you remind me, I tell you, just to take a break, remind me a joke my grandfather used to tell me about, the Christian crusaders when they came to Jerusalem. They're so known to teach absurdity, such absurdities. For example, they find like a cave, and they find like a skull in that cave, and they say, oh, this is the skull of Jesus Christ. We found the tomb of Jesus Christ, and they came and they just kneeled and they prayed, and then there was a smart guy among them said, just check, sorry my lord, but that skull is apparently the skull of a child. It cannot be the skull of Christ. And then they looked at him and said, yes, it's true, but it was the skull of Jesus Christ as a child. You understand? Okay. This was just to tell you.
It's tell you how,
I know this is to make a parody of this. It's a joke, but to tell you that you can doubt things, but within reason. Like what you appear to do is like you deny everything, but it's too hard to buy. Like the way
I'm not denying. I'm telling you that you aren't addressing the globe claim. The globe claim is that the bottom of a boat is obstructed by the curve. And you're saying it's too small to see. That's a different thing. We don't say too small to see is proof of globe. We say bottom up obstruction is evidence for globe. And you say Zoom brings it back, but you don't have any examples of Zoom bringing back something that's half obstructed.
And if we did, you will join us?
Sure.
I got you now. Okay,
but check it out. I know there are none. Go ahead, grab that video after the fact of partially obstructed, and then Zoom bringing it back where you can see the bottom.
Check it out. Now to go up to another level, a little bit more serious. You see, about David Weiss, I'm talking about. Repeatedly in your videos, I quote you. You say, okay, that he's a scammer, David scams Rosenbar, he's a scammer, he's a liar, he's a piece of filth. You think all flat earthers are idiots. And, I respect all that. This is your opinion. I have no problem. You can say whatever you feel. Flat Earth Dave is an easily deceived idiot. He's a pathologic liar and scammer. So I tell you something. When you hear this, when you listen to a man, on one side that, looks, clean cut and, seems to have some reasoning and some logic, and then you see that he's losing somehow his control by insulting like this somebody else because he doesn't agree with him or because he thinks he's evil.
It's not because I disagree with him. It's because he's factually a liar.
You see, you're losing your credibility. You're losing everything.
But I can prove that he's a liar. No problem. I've done that to you already.
But the fact, at one point when you insulted, that means, and this for us is an indication that somehow we are right, because in front of us, if we have people just
Because I identified a liar in your midst that you don't call out yourselves.
No, not because of this.
That addresses your credibility, not mine.
No, not because of this. Because of the fact that you openly insult him and mock him. That is not
He
professional.
deserves it. He lies. I proved it.
Maybe, but in that case, as soon as you lose control and that you insult and mock people, all you can prove is that actually you're like angry, and you should not be angry.
You should check out your fellow flat earther Nathan Oakley and see how that goes.
I give you an example in the Torah. You see Pharaoh, which is the worst, piece of garbage ever. What he did to children, what he did to people, is a real, the piece of filth himself. But the Torah and God also teaches us always to respect your enemies. When you see an enemy, even a guy like this, we always have to respect him, because he makes efforts also to fight you. So it's somehow respectable. And this is what you have to gain.
I'll tell you how
you should gain the respect of people. You should gain more respect by playing fair game. Play fair. Okay, you don't agree with Dave, you believe he's lying and everything, no problem. Just try to prove it, because you're not very successful in proving anything. You just say things,
I'm
just
very
claim
successful in proving that he's a liar.
But
so let me explain to you how I typically begin interacting with a flat earther, and Dave Weiss is no different. I will give them factual information, right? And I started long ago. I posted on Dave Weiss's YouTube channel, and he deletes my comments or doesn't allow them to be published. Well, there you go with the respect. If I give you a respectable factual comment and you don't allow it, you didn't earn any respect there.
Well, that's what he thinks about you.
Right. I usually pin if somebody comes to my channel and disagrees with me, I will often pin their comment right to the top so everybody can see it. I don't generally block people unless I block the actual, like, there's bots that do spamming on YouTube. YouTube auto blocks them now better than before. But the only people that I block are ones that are making the types of insulting comments that have no place in any discourse, right? Claims of adults doing things to children.
Yeah.
Those don't get approved, and those people sometimes will just get banned. But for the most part, everybody gets to comment on my videos, and people that come into my live chat, they get to comment. If they're disagreeing with me, they get to comment. And I have moderators on my channel, and if they block things that a flat earther might come in and say, I will take away their moderator privileges. I've done it before. So that's my stance on it. If somebody disagrees with me, you can come in there and talk.
So you're backing up. You're backing up the fact.
But Dave doesn't. Dave, my earliest interactions with Dave, he either deleted my comment or didn't approve them.
But Dave never
doesn't get my respect.
Dave never insulted you. Never called you a piece of filth.
Oh yes, he did.
I never heard.
Oh yes, he did.
Him, saying this.
Then
I never heard him saying
your
this
own research
about anybody. That
you didn't do your own research. He called me a demon.
Oh, okay, demon is like, it's more like, it's okay. It's like, it's not just like a piece of filth, like like an idiot, like it's like
So go back to December 2nd, 2023 on Jaron's channel, and watch the video that he had after Dave met me in person.
Mm-hmm.
And he was on Jaron's channel. You can watch that.
About the one with he has a face of a goat on your face. This is the one. The goat's face.
So that was a different time.
Okay.
Yeah, you go watch and you listen to the words that Dave said about me there.
Okay, so what I understand.
So you don't get to claim that he has any high ground on talking to me.
I tell you the first conclusion I can have when I hear you talk and everything. I have to think. I have no other choice to come to that conclusion that it's something personal between you and Dave. I don't believe it's like something like it's just business. It's not business. It's personal. You have something personal against him because nobody.
He's personally insulted me, of course, yes, But I'm quite bothered by his repeated lies, right? The one about the NASA rover, easy lie for that. He could have chosen not to lie about that. He chose to lie about.
Yeah, but
There's another one. There's 3 photos that he has labeled Apollo 9, Apollo 11,
yes.
Apollo 12. All
Yes.
3 of them are actually from Apollo 11.
I saw
All
that
3
video.
are.
I saw your video.
And he labeled them Apollo 9, 11, 12.
But he has no
motivation.
He has no motivation.
I don't care about his motivation.
Yeah, yes, you do, because you're saying that's a scammer. What's the scam? Where's the scam?
His motivation is to sell his motivation is to sell his app.
He doesn't need that to sell. He doesn't need to lie about Apollo 9 or 10.
Then
he
you
maybe
tell
made a mistake.
Me,
and
why
it's normal.
did
The guy
he
is
lie
making like 100
oh,
videos
he made
a
mistake.
month.
So he didn't do his own research. So this guy that you think is really smart and is really educated on this topic, and you are trusting him to give you information on it, he doesn't do his own research, and he believed it was Apollo 9, 11, 12 without doing his research.
Actually, I'm going to go even.
Is that your backup?
I'm going
he's
to
a sheep. He's a gullible sheep. Is your
no?
defense.
So I'm going to tell you even better. The fact that he made a mistake, proves to me that he's human. That because we all make mistakes, and proves to me that he's not staged. That's what he does. He does it, out of his mind, out of his heart. And of course, that guy, how many meetings he has a week, at his age, he's like crazy. It's like it's like, of course, he's going to make sometimes a mistake, but again, the mistakes he makes don't, it doesn't profit out of them. It doesn't benefit from them. It doesn't sell his app because he said that Apollo 9, is a picture.
He claimed the KGB reports to NASA.
Oh, I wouldn't be surprised.
He claimed the KGB reports to NASA. Well, the KGB, which stopped existing shortly after 1990, he claimed last year in 2023. How many years after the KGB stopped existing, did he claim that the KGB reports to NASA? How would he come to that ridiculous information?
But that's okay. The message is received. The Russian Secret Service.
Lie.
If you say the FSB, most people don't even know what FSB is today.
It doesn't matter.
KGB, it's okay. It's the same thing. We understand.
A lie.
Again,
it's absolutely a lie.
A mistake cannot be a lie, a lie made on purpose. This is what, this is why I got you, because I believe that you're blowing things out of context, that you take a mistake or an error. Let's say an error, it didn't check. No problem.
David said there's no curvature ever measured.
Well, he said that. Else. But again,
he has said there's no curvature ever measured. There has been curvature measured.
In order to accuse somebody in court, you need a motivation, you need a mobile.
No, you don't.
Of course.
I don't need a motivation.
If you have a murder, if you have no mobile, it doesn't go.
This isn't a court of law. He has said that.
Same thing, the judgment. The way you judge, you just cut short to, many steps. Just okay, the guy lied, automatically he's a scammer and he wants to take your money. But he doesn't need this light to take my money.
He said a laser can hit a target 100 miles away. It can't. Another mistake or a lie. I don't know. There's two options here. Either he's intentionally lying or he's a gullible sheep.
No problem.
And you're using the gullible sheep defense. Okay, fine. He's a gullible sheep.
So check it out. Take all the mistakes he made. Okay, just count them. And
his entire presentation.
All the evidence he brought.
His entire presentation.
And you're going to see
all of it. He brings no evidence. He says nobody's ever seen curvature, but there have been 600 people that have orbited the Earth.
But you see, by you saying this,
and in 1935, hold on, in 1935, Captain Stevens went up to 72,000 feet and took photos of the curve. Oh no, somebody saw the curve.
So check it out. What you're doing, for example, if you say that it doesn't bring no evidence, this is also not believable.
Claims.
You should say
these are his claims. Every one of his claims are wrong.
3 points, but you just said no on everything. So you're speaking out of the heart. Out of anger,
I'm not speaking out of the heart. I can prove that he lied about nobody seeing the curve, because from 1935 there's a photograph and it was published in National Geographic in 1936. I have the magazine right behind me here on the shelf. I've got the fold out. I scanned it in. It's on my website, mctoon.net/curve. You can see the actual photograph that was taken. So when he says nobody's ever seen curvature, he's just either lying or a gullible sheep. I can prove it.
So apparently,
and you believed his lie or his sheepiness.
I'm just looking. I'm just as an observer looking from the outside, and I see that all the proofs that you said you have, all the things that you said you proved, actually apparently are not receivable. Maybe not so much such good proofs.
Why not?
Because people just don't accept them. You should be now more
so
famous than him.
flat earthers are saying, "Uh, got it. I know
No,
that."
not anybody. Look, I'm a flat earther. I'm open. I come to you. You know, if you show me things, I
Dude,
agree
Sam,
to.
you're a flat earther. You're a flat earther. I can tell.
Of course, I'm flat
Yeah.
earther. But that's why I came to talk to you to see to know more about you.
Dave said nobody's felt the spin of the Earth. So what part of the human anatomy feels constant angular motion?
This is gibberish for me. Angular motion. I don't know what you're talking about. I know that
Yeah,
you look at the Earth.
There's no part.
Is quiet.
There's no part of the human anatomy that could feel that. Yet he says nobody's felt it. Of course, nobody's felt it. That's not what we're able to feel.
Okay, so you decide. So how do you decide what we're able to feel and not able to feel?
Well, to determine whether or not the Earth is orbiting or
can't
rotating,
you see it? Can't you look at it?
Measure it. You measure it. You said earlier, don't trust your senses, don't trust your eyes. I agree. Let's go measure to see if the Earth is rotating once a day. When you do that, turns out the Earth is rotating once a day. I have a list of, I think, 14 mctoon.net/spin. If you want to see.
So why people don't believe you? Why don't they believe you? Why don't they believe you?
Because flat earthers have a religion. It's a religion. That's why.
So get a religion yourself and just do like we.
I don't need a religion to determine the shape
because
of the
it don't work.
I'll just look at measurements.
This is too big. It's too.
Dave says that we're not. Dave says that we are not allowed to go to Antarctica. Article 2 of the Antarctic Treaty says freedom of scientific investigation in Antarctica and cooperation toward that end, as applied during the International Geophysical Year, shall continue subject to provisions in the present treaty. So when Dave says that you can't go to Antarctica, that's not true.
No.
Specifically
it is
says
true.
You can go.
No, it's not the same thing. What he says is true. What you read is not true. It's a scam, because if you try to go to Antarctica, go ahead, go try to go. See where they're going to send you. First of all, they're going to take like a lot of money from you if they accept you, and then they're going to show. Taking
like money doesn't mean not going.
A little island, the little things. You don't go all over the place. You have the army, and why do they block the area? Why can't you just get close like 1,000 miles from the area without like being stopped by the
Dave
Navy?
was offered a free, all expense paid trip to go to 80 degrees south latitude, not a little island. He was offered a trip and he refused to go.
Why?
Calling me a demon.
Why? Why did you refuse?
He called me I don't know. I know why, actually.
I'll check it out.
To protect something.
There are reasons.
But here's the point. You can go to Antarctica. He says you can't. He was offered a free trip. He said no. The reason why he can't go to Antarctica is because he refused the free trip.
Check it out. I tell you something.
He could have gone if he wanted.
I tell you something. There are parts in Israel you cannot go. You cannot just get close to them. So you can say, okay, you can come to Israel. Yeah, but there are parts you won't be able to come ever. The same thing. Antarctica is why is it so regulated? Why isn't it free? Why is the army over there? Why is all the nations army? There's 8 bases all around.
The army is prohibited from acting there. Don't you know that?
No, according to the Antarctica Treaty, all the armies, the navies are protecting the area. You cannot get close to it.
Oh, well, let me quote from you Article 1 of the treaty. Antarctica shall be used for. You said the treaty. I'm reading the treaty to you, Sam.
Yes.
I'm making a liar out of you right now, Sam. Article 1, Antarctica shall be used for peaceful purposes only. There shall be prohibited inter alia any measure of military nature, such as the establishment of military bases and fortifications, the carrying out of military maneuvers, as well as the testing of any types of weapons. You said the treaty had military there. It says the opposite of what you said, Sam. You never read it.
So let me.
Why are you lying? You just believe flat earthers and parrot their lies, Sam.
Let me turn that around and make an idiot out of you. Why? Because the army is not in Antarctica. The army is 1,000 miles before Antarctica, blocking the access to Antarctica.
Prove it.
So that's
prove it.
There are fishes. There are boats, fishing boats being stopped by by the Navy next to to Antarctica.
Where?
There are videos on internet. Just do your own research. I made it.
I did my own research. You did not.
You see, that's the thing.
You just lied, Sam. Sam, that video you're thinking of, they were north of Tasmania.
Oh, yes.
Sam, They were
Okay.
nowhere near Antarctica. They were wearing
Okay.
t-shirts. They weren't in a boat that was large enough to get to Antarctica. They had nothing to do with Antarctica, but flat
No,
earthers
1,000 miles
deceived
before.
you.
It's not Antarctica. It's 1,000 miles
They
before.
were north of Tasmania. Do you know where
You,
Tasmania is?
this is what you say. That's also
Do
what they
you,
say.
it's in the beginning of the video has their coordinates. The
Okay.
video has the
Maybe it's not the same
coordinates
video we're
where
talking about.
they were stopped.
So
I know the video you're thinking of because
So
flat earthers use it constantly as a claim that they can't get there because of military, but they were nowhere near Antarctica. They were north of Tasmania. Tasmania, do you know what Tasmania is? It's that big island south of Australia. They were north of it.
well, the video I'm talking about is it's like off the coast of Chile. It's not. It was not in Australia. It was off the
So
coast of
off the
Chile.
okay, off the
So
coast of Chile is not
yes.
Antarctica.
No, it's not.
Got it.
1,000 miles before Antarctica, you get stopped. You don't have to go to Antarctica. Even the militaries can go there because if they were there, they would have been speaking already. So they keep them also themselves out of Antarctica. It's like close. What about what
So
about
you
Google?
must think that
Earth?
they're not.
You believe in Google?
You
What about
no,
Google?
you must not think that Will Duffy is going to actually get to 80 degrees south latitude. You must think that's not going to happen.
I don't even know who is McDuffie. I don't know who
Will
is.
Duffy is
Yeah.
the guy that offered to pay for Flat Earth Dave to go, and Dave refused
And why did he refuse?
because he has to protect his grift.
This is what you say, not what he
Yes.
says. You understand? So you take a piece of the truth, a part of the truth, and you just
And Dave
the other
twists
side.
it around. Got it. So when people go to Antarctica, you know what? You could bet money on this. You could go to Moose Bet Moose. I think betmoose.com. You could put money on that, on whether or not they'll see the 24-hour sun in Antarctica.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, if you think it won't happen, you could put money on it, and then you could win if it
Wait a
happens.
second. The
the way
NASA
you
doesn't
think.
the NASA doesn't have any pictures of this? Any movies already from this? No.
Oh, there's lots of pictures and
Oh,
videos
okay.
of 24 sun from Antarctica.
So it's not an issue anymore.
It never was an issue, but flat earthers
okay.
just say, nuh-uh.
Oh, okay. I
They
understand.
do. I can, unlike you, with this thing here, this one, I can provide videos. I'll send them to you afterwards, and your response will be nuh-uh.
So let me, I don't know how much time now we've been talking. I don't want to abuse too much of your time. 1.5 hours is not bad. Hey, it's not bad. You're fighting good, man. That's good. Check it out. The last thing I can tell you, and I'm being straight with you. It's not insulting. It's nothing. But the way I see you, I tell you my personal feeling. How I see you. I see you I don't know if you're in a basement here or you're somewhere. It's in the basement.
That's
or in
the ground level of my house. Right behind me is a window to out the backyard. Yeah.
So I see you like this, denying with for me, which what appears to be for me, empty arguments, poor arguments, and you don't manage. You cannot succeed into convincing people of so clear evidence, and somehow I see that excuse me the expression. It's like some kind of an intellectual masturbation. Like you believe that you're going somewhere, but it's only in your imagination. You don't create nothing. You don't go ahead. Okay, you have like views. You have okay, no problem. But with what you claim that you have, you should have already stopped the flat Earth movement. Should have been already stopped.
But remember, flat Earth is a religion.
So if they are stupid, if we are all idiots, and that you're smart, well, not very successful in being that smart, because you cannot stop us. You cannot stop people from believing that what you say doesn't make sense.
Yeah, you make a good point about religion, right? Have all Jews convinced non-Jews that being Jews are the way to go? No. Have all Christians convinced all non-Christians that being a Christian is the way to go? No. Have all Muslims? Same question, right? You can ask that of all religions. So have I succeeded in convincing a bunch of religious people that their religion is wrong? No.
So why don't you give up? Why don't you give up?
Because my goal is not that.
Okay.
My goal is to shine a spotlight on the false religion of flat Earth so that people who see it are like, understand how wrong flat Earth is, because you can't explain how the sun can set. You don't know how high the sun is. You can't do celestial navigation. You can't explain the magnitude of the downward acceleration. The list of things that flat Earth can't do is endless.
But if flat Earth is a religion, who is the high priest? Who is the pope of this? Who's the leader? Because you have no religion without leader.
There's no one leader, but
Oh,
you've got a bunch. You've got Eric Dubay, you've got Nathan Oakley, you've got a handful of them that are. But it doesn't. You don't
But
need to have an organization.
They don't meet together. They don't.
I know.
See
but
them
you
meeting.
don't need a structured organization to have a religious belief.
Oh,
right?
okay, I understand. So it's like a free belief.
People can have religious belief, yeah.
Like hippies,
and so there are some people at the top of it that are different tribes going that agree with it. And you see this in Islam, right? There's 3 or 4 kind of large groups, right? There's 3 large groups, as I know: Sunni, Sufi, and the whirling dervish people. Shiite, yeah. So there's 3, and there's a handful of others as well. And each of those organizations has their leadership, right? So in front there isn't one, right? There isn't one overarching Islam leader, and the same as in Christianity, right? There's the Pope, but I'm not Catholic. I don't care what the Pope says. You were Seventh-day Adventist. You didn't care what the Pope said, right?
Now I do care because I'm a flat earther, so I do care what the Pope says. very much.
No. But you don't follow the Pope. You don't listen to what he says, and then say, oh, okay, that's how I'm going to be. You don't care.
So I'm trying to resume. You're here. Out of you, not basement, like whatever the room you're in, you are fighting to try to expose the truth to a bunch, like to millions and tens of, maybe hundreds of millions of indoctrinated people that are acting as they were part of some kind of
the projection is through the roof here.
A sect or religion, something like a or secret brotherhood, maybe not just secret, but a public brotherhood, like more like
And you're talking about flat earthers?
Yeah. Talking about you in front of that mass of people, and you're trying to convince them, and you're so obsessed in trying to convince them that you go up to insulting them and making fun of them, but it doesn't work. Nothing works. So I'm saying
it works.
Maybe something is wrong with you, not with them.
Sam, it works. I successfully accomplished my goal. I get people that talk to me regularly, usually in private, that say, because of your videos, I was looking into flat Earth and I realized it didn't make sense. I've got people that have contacted me that said, I used to be a flat earther, and because of your videos, I'm not anymore. I've got people that said, I sent your videos to a relative who was looking into it, and they're not anymore.
I tell you something, I have a few friends of mine that were not flat earthers until recently. And one of the things that convinced them is exactly people like you. When they see who is the opposition, they say, what the hell? Of course, the flat earthers are right.
So I get that, and Sam.
So you understand?
Sam, the people that don't understand elementary geometry are going to be they're the target market for flat Earth, and they're going to be fooled by it. Yep, there are people that aren't bright enough. I get it.
Do you think at one point the flat Earth movement can take over?
No.
It can become the entire Earth. Might realize that the Earth is flat.
Here's what you need. Here's what you need. You need to know the height of the sun. You need to know what the sun's made of and how it creates its light and heat. You need to know the height of the moon. You need to know why everybody sees the same face of the moon. You need the ability to do long-range navigation. Right now, all we have is globe maps. All maps that they use for long-range navigation are globes. You need to provide an explanation for the 9.8 meters per second squared downward acceleration. You need to explain what time the sun will set based on flat Earth geometry, right? I could go on. There's a whole bunch of things that all of these things the globe can do, and none of those things can flat Earth do.
I understand.
You need all of them.
So check it out. I just want to cut short now. I have things to do, but I just want to, thank you very much, because you've been very fair, very open-minded. You just received me. I told you right up that I was not agreeing with you, that I was more like, an opponent. And that's honorable. I have no problem with this. I just would advise you maybe to, just in order for you maybe to sell, more of what you want to sell, just to, try to give up, losing your control, and by insulting people. It doesn't bring you, just diminishes you, just brings you down. People see you insulting, usually brings you down. The one that insults is the one that lost, is the one that is a loser. Losers insult people. Losers,
Well,
just curse people.
I'm
not
sure
winners.
that
People
yeah,
that have
I'm
the
sure
truth
that
with them, they don't have to lie.
yeah.
They don't have to
I'm
yell.
sure
They don't have
Nathan
to
Oakley would appreciate that. You should definitely tell him that.
check it out. This is a truth, a universal truth. People that have the truth with them, they don't need to curse. They don't need to insult. They don't need to mock. People that mock, that insult, are the ones that are losers. Are the ones that are not right. Are the bad side, the evil side. The Sith side.
The
not
Nathan
the Jedi.
Oakley side. Yeah.
So, well, just this is the way I see it, and it's too bad because you have some apparent good reasoning, but the way you put things out, by denying totally, like David Weiss doesn't have nothing right. He's everything he says is wrong. It cannot be possible.
But
even
Sam,
even Hitler was right on some points.
Sam,
Nobody's like totally wrong all the time.
Yeah,
it's
2 plus 2 is 2 plus 2 is 4, and no matter who thinks 2 plus 2 is 4, it doesn't make it wrong. But when I go after Dave Weiss, I specifically cite the evidence, right? Dave just makes a claim and shows a meme.
Okay, check it out. I'm going to make like a little resume of the videos. We're going to show this to the people and see what they think. Why not? Yeah. Let them judge. Thanks Sounds a lot for receiving me. Thanks a lot.
One thing, Neriel, who I talked about earlier, would like to talk to you. You mind if I send you his email?
We say, yeah, no problem.
Yeah, he's in Israel.
Course.
So
of course.
Awesome. Well, thanks for the talk.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
All right.
Bye-bye.